Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cardinal Sports Complex for CTN Lights live coverage of boys high school lacrosse as the Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids squad welcomes the conference rival from Centennial. Joe Young, Howie Shapiro up above the action in the nice warm booth on a clear and sunny but cool and windy April afternoon.
It's always nice to be in the booth when the weather's a little chilly and there's a little bit of a wind, and we don't have to brave the elements like Bill Hupp and I did for baseball the other night. But this will be an interesting game. You know, the Cardinals, the Catbirds are 0-3, and Centennial comes in at 2-2.
Yeah, and their two losses both by one goal.
Yep.
And their two wins relatively handily beat Anoka 14-7 and Osseo Park Center 15-1. Meanwhile, SLPCR, a one-goal loss to Anoka, sandwiched between two 7-run losses to Elk River, Zimmerman, and Hastings.
Yeah, this will be a good opportunity for the Catbirds if they can get off the schneid, get their first win of the season on their home turf. Well, half their home turf.
That pass was right into the mush of Ethan Ossie. Ossie, one of their leading scorers. His pass down to the corner out of the reach of Brock Lewick. And a turnover right back to Centennial. And possession will be big. The Catbirds, that is, had a relatively solid year last year.
They did.
And went up to Chisago Lakes in the section tournament. Huge save by Scramstad in close. Keeps this a scoreless contest.
Yeah, he was able to get in front of that one and make that nice save. Keep the Centennial Cougars off the board, as you mentioned.
Yeah, Gavin Craigie right on the doorstep and had another chance there. That one was going high, but still knocked down by Scramsket. Scooped up by Easton Cody. Down low, another huge save by the Catbird keeper.
Say that fast several times.
Another huge save by the Catbird keeper. Another huge save by the Catbird keeper. Another huge save by the Catbird keeper. Another huge save. How many times?
100.
It's a little too early to be that far off track.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Trent Burke with possession for Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids, battling against the cross-check of Wyatt Sauber. Gets it across for Henry Leff, one of the SLPCR captains. Leff working down the left side. Will now bring it back up top to Berkey, also a captain on this squad. Pass deflected, but scooped back up.
Well, so far, the Cougars with a couple of good opportunities, but Scramstad came in big.
First extended possession time down low. Good opportunity in tight, but Quist denied by the Centennial keeper. And there's a shot to put SLPCR on the board first. It was Ethan Ossie getting his 7th of the season. And in a sport that moves this fast, I typically rely on replay for a lot of things.
And, of course, we don't have that.
Not at our disposal this evening.
Ossie, the second leading scorer on this Catbird squad.
Well, now has the team lead in goals.
Goals, correct, but not points.
Was tied in team lead for goals with 6 with Nolan Hazelwood, who has just a couple more assists. Now Ossie with the team lead in goals with 7. This one scooped up by Tyler Johnson. He'll run to the left side. Handed off there for Nolan Hazelwood. As we just mentioned, 6 goals on the season, 10 points coming into the contest. That is a team lead. Comes across for Devin Vossen, and fresh onto the turf, Henry Leff. Got a quick breather, and will sprint down the right side.
Well, both of these squads shuffling in players fairly quickly. Get as many fresh bodies out there as possible.
Hazelwood looks backdoor. Good chance down low for Lewick, but turned away by the keeper. Now it's Colin Easton working his way down to the behind the net. Easton looking out front for a cutter. That pass deflected. Leff able to scoop it up on the near side.
I like that thought. The Catbirds had a player right out in front of the net.
Left back behind the net for Quist. And they'll work it back up top for Nolan Hazelwood. Hazelwood some fakes, nearly lost it. And now he does and didn't realize it, but back to scoop it up.
Yeah, fortunately, he saw it quickly, was able to get it back into his cross.
Now Littlefield aggressively hacking away at him. But the Catbirds able to maintain possession, and possession's everything in lacrosse.
Yes.
And another good scoop for Hazelwood, trying to dump it out front. Had Quist out there. It's scooped up instead by Devin Vossen, and they reset back up top to Leff. Leff gets around, finds some room, shoots low. That's turned away by Bednar. Tracking it down before the end line is Danny Quist.
The Catbirds doing a nice job of applying pressure down in the Cougar end. And again, both goaltenders making some stops here so far early on. But the Catbirds have that first goal.
Trent Burke jogs it back down behind, and they complete a change with Ossie coming on and closing on the backside of this offense. Leff will get it across to Ossie. Watched there by Sauber. Ossie, the goal scorer for SLPCR, in possession, looking to be the setup man this time, perhaps. All the way back up top to Nolan Hazelwood. Burke looking for entry, takes a cross check, finds a shot and scores.
Again, just a lot of pressure down in that Cougar end, and it pays off again for the Catbirds. That's Burke's second goal on the season. The Catbirds take that 2-0 lead.
Good start for the home team after we saw Centennial get a couple of early possessions, had some great looks in close, but huge saves made by the SLPCR keeper. Scramstad kept it a scoreless game. His team gets a couple of good possessions and is able to convert a couple of times, and now a 2-0 lead and our first penalty of the contest. We'll give Centennial the free position, and they will set up, and that pass missed the target down low, skips out of bounds, and SLPCR takes over on the turnover. Scramstad, long pass ahead. Turning with it is Easton. Absorbed some solid stick contact, but gets it ahead to Vossen, who gets around the corner, down low, trying to sneak it out front for Lewick, but he was well defended. Centennial having trouble getting it scooped up and controlled to get it to midfield. Trying to turn it around is Lamari Brown. Brown running down the sidelines, and long stick midi will help set up the Catbird offense. Lewick. Again, absorbing some heavy pressure from the stick of Jacob Robinson. Gets it across now and looking for room is Colin Easton. Easton had it knocked out of his stick. Still loose. Scooping it up is Hazelwood, and SLPCR maintains possession. Less than 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
Yeah, and the Catbirds doing a nice job of just hustling after the loose balls and just keeping that possession down there, because they've had a couple of nice shots that Bednar had to make some saves on, but they could be up a little more than the 2-0 lead that they're experiencing right now.
Well, and patience on offense. Again, we talk about how important possession is,
Yep.
but the ability to be patient, it's a little easier when you have the lead on the scoreboard.
Sure.
But, just knowing that you don't have to rush things, that pass goes amiss and they turn it back over. However, as patient as you are, you still want to be able to complete your passes and at least get a good shot on goal, and that possession comes up empty on the opportunity scoreboard for SLPCR.
Well, we know that scoreboard can change going the other way, so 2-0 lead is not something that's comfortable.
Oh, not at all. And this is a team in Centennial that averages 11.5 goals per game. They've only been held to single digits in one of their 4 contests thus far, as we have a timeout on the field. But yeah, a 1-goal loss to Maple Grove in the season opener. Maple Grove is currently undefeated and sitting atop the Northwest Suburban Conference standings. And then their last contest on Friday last week, an 8-7 loss to Matamidi. But those 2 losses by a combined 2 goals.
Yeah, I think they've scored 22 goals in the 3 games they've played, not including today, but
now you're talking about Spring Lake Park. Coon.
yeah, sorry, I'm going to the other side. Yeah,
You are correct.
We're all over the place.
7.3 a game.
Yep.
Which they'd like to see it go up a little bit. And then in the goals against per game, Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids has given up 12.3 a game, while Centennial has only given up 6.75 per game. And again, it's early and it's kind of skewed because they've given up a lot of goals to really good teams, but then they held Osseo Park Center to 1. But none of those scores matter as much as the one on the scoreboard right now.
That is correct.
We had some stick inspections, make sure everybody's cross is of legal depth and tautness. A little less than 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Centennial will start with it near midfield. And they will work down the left side. And Centennial, obviously, way too early to get panicked. They know they had some great opportunities. Scramstead scheme up big. A shot from a ways out, turned away. Scramstead continues to have a strong showing in net.
Yeah, he's made, I think, about 3-4 nice saves already.
Adams backs away from the pressure by Jacob Curtis. Gets around Curtis. Finds some room. Shoots it up top. And Adams gets Centennial on the board late in this first period.
Yeah, again, they were applying pressure early in this game, like you mentioned, and that time Logan Adams with a really nice job with a good goal. That's 13 goals on the season, so he ties the lead for the Cougars in goal scoring at 13 with Brohl Shearman.
Adams' 25th point in this, the 5th game of the season for Centennial. So he's off to a nice start. Good scoop on the faceoff for Brody Herzog. Moves it to Trent Burke and then gets off to get the offensive set on. Henry Leff will work it right side for Lewick. Back up top for Leff. Brock Lewick back up top for Leff.
Just trying to work their offense by moving the ball around the perimeter, looking for that spot.
Well, and try and spread the defense out, but a solid defensive play knocked the ball away from Burke and quickly in, and nearly had a great opportunity in close. Instead, they elect to take it behind and wait for everybody to get in on the attack. Brohl Sherman working left side, gives it back to Adams. Sherman shakes, shoots low, big save right into the webbing for the keeper for SLPCR, Tommy Scramstad. Unfortunately, they turn it right back over.
Well, time's running down in this first quarter.
Final 15 seconds. Adams along the baseline, checked there by Eli Bowden. Comes up top, his shot, Scramstad.
Wow.
Makes another big save as Adams had it from a ways out, but it was hard to tell whether Scramstad got it or not, and he did. He's the reason SLPCR has a 2-1 lead at the end of the first quarter. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more boys high school lacrosse after this on CTN Light. Back at the Cardinal Sports Complex, just about to get the second quarter underway here between the Catbirds and the Centennial Cougars. And a face-off infraction by the Catbirds gives the first possession of the second quarter to Centennial. Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids came out and scored the first two, but Centennial with a goal late in the quarter and then some good possession time throughout the last couple of minutes. Really, they have the momentum coming in. And Tommy Scramstead, the keeper for SLPCR, has been very good, but Adams blows this one past him up top, his second goal of the game, and we are tied at 2 apiece.
Yeah, Adams with a really nice play. He just came around that corner and snapped off a wrist shot, and nothing Scramstead could do about it as it found the back of the net. It was tied up at 2.
Well, just as I was talking about how solid he had been, he has had a handful of 5-alarm saves in this through that first quarter. Helped SLPCR kind of weather the storm through the first couple of possessions. And then the Catbirds able to have a good couple of really good quality possessions of their own, able to put a couple of goals in. But now the pendulum has swung back in favor of the visitor.
Well, we'll see about time of possession here in the second quarter for both teams. Will be interesting. I think, Cardinals, Catbirds.
Sherman, long shot. He's on the board. That's his 14th goal of the season. So both now have 14 goals in the season.
And you talked about momentum as quickly as the Catbirds had that 2-0 lead. Last 3 goals have been scored by the Cougars to gain that momentum.
Well, and it all comes down to, number one, the draw. I mean, if you can get possession off the draw, that's the easiest way. But then once you have surrendered that possession, just pressuring to force turnovers is huge. And you saw the Centennial defense doing it effectively to get themselves kind of back in possession and allow them to take this lead. But SLPCR defensively, when Centennial was in their end, not quite as much straight pressure in tight on the ball carrier. Bednar will now move it ahead. Big open field contact and
guys chopping away at it. The Catbirds going to get possession.
Lewick trying to bounce one home, and he was hacked from behind, but good defensive play, and it, again, results in a quick turnover to get Centennial possession once more. Relatively low-scoring affair so far.
Well, though, that can change as well.
It is definitely a contact sport.
Yeah.
Pass out front, well defended, loose ball, scoop back up by Crumwhitey. He'll get it back up top for Adams to start the offense. Down low, the pass eludes Colden Anderson, and a turnover back to SLPCR. I almost said CPCR. That's not quite right.
No, that is not quite right. But I would have understood the mistake.
SLPCR has a much better mascot.
Yeah.
No offense to the Fighting Bluebirds.
No.
But Catbirds are awesome. Hazelwood didn't just lose the ball, he lost his whole cross came out of his hand. He started running one way. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Quist. But started running one way and kind of just left the cross behind. Well,
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I might need that.
That's something it's important for me if I want to score a goal.
So we'll see now that they're trailing if SLPCR is able to, again, be patient, but work it into a good scoring opportunity instead. A good stick in the way to intercept the pass, but then thrown away right back into possession. Another turnover. Great job jumping up to take that one away by Lars Gorlitz. Scooped up by Craigie. He's pressured, able to get it up again, and then had it knocked out of his hands, stick and all. We'll say I do love the. I love the. I like this sport a lot.
It's a fun sport.
Oh, man left all alone outside, and you can't expect Scramstead to stop that. Quick catch and release for Colden Anderson, and it's a 2-goal lead for the Cougars.
That's Colden Anderson's 7th goal on the season. And again, you're right. The defense wasn't able to put any pressure on him. They found Anderson right in front of the net, and as you mentioned, not much Scramstead to do about it because that's a pretty easy goal.
So 4 unanswered for Centennial, 3 here in the second quarter, and they have taken possession of momentum, the lead, and they're not sharing the ball very much either. Solomon Marshall along the end line gives it to Adams over there on the left side. Adams working against the defense of Eli Bowden. Trying to find his way back out front, looking for a teammate, goes all the way across. Sherman down low. Anderson out front, a shot and a goal for Craigie.
Again, just move that ball in front of the net, and Craigie able to put it home. Gavin Craig, that's his first goal of the season.
Another face-off win for Centennial. Tyler Case gets it into the offensive end, and his job done. He returns to the bench. Solomon Marshall will wing it around, set it up left side for Adams, and now back up top to Sam Lewis. Craig with it.
It looks like what the Catbirds did in that first quarter. A lot of possession down on this side of the field.
Sherman. Cross for Adams. Adams looks to the middle, absorbs some contact, fights through some sticks. Shot goes wide. Took a stick up high, and Centennial will maintain possession, but Adams sprints off. Checking with teammates, make sure that all of his teeth appear to be there, and there's not too much blood.
Am I bleeding? Or do I have a full smile?
Botch taking a hack or two from Gavin Christensen, his opposite number. Shot low, misses wide, but Cougars there along the end line to maintain possession. They have had possession pretty much the entire second quarter. Sherman into the middle, a shot low, kicked away by Scramstead. Another, again, huge save. Trying to keep his team in this contest. Down by 3 with a little more than 5 minutes to go in the half.
Well, yeah, and again, another good opportunity for the Cougars, but Scramstead coming up big, and now they turn the ball over, and the Catbirds will see what they can do about trying to cut into this lead.
Long run for Christensen, finally gives it up. And numbers on the pressure forces another turnover, and Centennial right back on the attack. Cooper Larson rolls it back up top for Kellen Crumwhitey. Working his way to the left side. Crumwhitey to Sherman, fakes a shot, steps in, and buries it up top. It's a 6-2 lead.
It was a really nice move by Sherman. As you mentioned, he faked around the defender and then moved right into the goal mouth, and it was not, again, much that Scramstead to do to stop that shot. That increases that lead to 6-2.
Good win in the circle for Brody Herzog. Tries to get SLPCR into the attacking end. Coughed it up, recovered by Nolan Hazelwood and the Catbirds. Trying to get their offense set up and on the field, and unfortunately an illegal substitution means they give it right back. However, Centennial a pass a little too tall for Hermanson, so they give it right back. Burke rushes into the attacking end, down low. Low angle shot by Hazelwood, stopped up by Bednar, but right back to Hazelwood. And now Burke up top for Henry Leff. Leff trying to find an angle, does, and scores. That's a big goal at this point for SLPCR, just to stop the flow.
Absolutely. They really needed that goal by Leff, and he did a good job of getting around the defense and then get it to the back of the net. That would be his third goal on the year.
Now if they can get another possession or two, get themselves right back in before the halftime. Ball still loose, bodies flying everywhere, and the whistles blow against SLPCR, so Centennial will take the possession. Go back to set up in the offensive end, or at least to attempt to. Good defense there by Eli Bowden to knock it free. SLPCR had it momentarily, but now back in the cross of Logan Adams. And up top for Sam Lewis. Cunningham scoops it back up. Pressure coming from Bowden. Trying to find an edge around that corner, but Bowden not allowing it. Continues to chase behind. Pass out front. Couple SLP sticks on it. A shot by Sherman. I may have hit his teammate.
I think it did.
I'm not sure if it hit Solomon Marshall or if Marshall was diving to get out of the way.
Nonetheless, it something diverted it.
Logan Adams back behind. Out front, looks all the way up top for Sam Lewis. Lewis couldn't find a lane through the bodies. Continues to scan as he tries to avoid Jacob Curtis behind the net. Adams again slows it down on the left side. And a timeout Centennial with 1:39 to go in the half. They lead by a 6-3 score after 6 unanswered goals.
Yeah, they had the momentum, and Left's goal really, I'm not saying changed the momentum, but pushed it a little closer for the Catbirds, because now they're just down by 3 goals, an opportunity to see what they can do to see if they can get another, as you mentioned, before the half.
First, they must get a stop.
Yes.
And a recovery to wrest possession from the very greedy Cougars.
Well, the Cougars do a nice job on the offensive end, just, moving the ball around and working their offense.
Still early in the game, still very early in the season, but always want to come out on top against those conference rivals.
They do. And they'd certainly like to get into the win column.
Them being SLPCR,
Correct.
most certainly. The 1-goal loss to Anoka may be a little tough to swallow for Coach Pollard and his team. But, a tougher task here tonight, but not one they're shying away from in any way. And we've seen, there was a big portion of that first quarter where SLPCR was the team dictating the tempo.
Oh yeah, they had the majority of the momentum in that first quarter, but Centennial did a really nice job of taking it back and building that lead.
Adams playing catch with Sam Lewis up top. Lewis working his way down low on the right side, all the way behind for Anderson. Anderson watched there by Sudbeck. Gets it back out. Adams can't find a way in. But certainly not going to be in any hurry with a 3-goal lead. They know what got them here. And they know the pressure's not on them to score. Adams fires, another save by the keeper Scramstead. Swept out to midfield and then pushed along by Hazelwood, but recovered by Reese Littlefield for Centennial. He gets it to the keeper, Bednar. Bednar pressured well by Danny Quist. And the Cardinal pressure pays off with a turnover, but just 2.4 seconds
the Cardinals
remaining in the half.
The Catbirds, that's 3 times for me today.
Only?
The Catbirds are calling a timeout. Only 3 so far. I'm
No
sure there'll be
question.
more.
Doesn't leave a lot of time.
No.
Try and draw up a quick hitch play that will result in a good opportunity.
Well, if you can get something like up top and then a quick shot off, you have an opportunity. But you're right, there's not a lot of time to work with. We'll see what Coach Pollard has in mind here.
Long shot, whistles wide out the end line, and that will do it
Yep.
for the first half. SLPCR comes out with the first couple of the game, but 6 unanswered by Centennial has them in a 6-3 driver's seat going to the half. We'll be back with the second half from Cardinal Sports Complex after this on CTN Light. Back at the Cardinal Sports Complex, second half just underway between Spring Lake Park, Coon Rapids, and Centennial. Catbirds scored the first couple in the first quarter, but Centennial scored late in the first and then controlled most of the action in the second quarter. They scored 6 unanswered and went up 6-2 before SLPCR had the last tally before the break. But right off the start of the second, right in possession is Centennial.
Well, that's what they were doing in that second quarter, and they're picking it up here. And the Cardinals, or the Catbirds, defensively would like to get a stop.
I applaud you for catching yourself. I'm sure that I have called them by the name that is in the end zone.
Well, and one we've been calling for many years.
But I haven't noticed myself doing it. So Scramstead, long pass ahead, looking for Trent Burke, didn't quite click. And Centennial able to turn it right back into their offensive end.
You know, we saw a lot of that in the second quarter, just doing a good job of being patient and moving the ball around the perimeter and looking for those openings in front of the net.
Logan Adams jogging almost all the way back to midfield, trailed by Jack Smolish. Adams staying just out of reach. Sherman shifts his way inside, shoots and scores, and it's a 7-3 lead.
Well, you can see why he's a goal scorer. He just does a really nice job of setting himself up, and again, using that little burst of speed and that quick shot that finds the back of the net. So the Cougars come out here and score the first goal of the second half.
Third of the contest for Sherman. Now 16 on the season. Strong play by Tyler Case in the circle. Helps get the ball right back to Centennial. And they quickly get deep into the attacking end and set up once more. Crumwhitey working with it left side. Wanted to give it back to Logan Adams. He wasn't quite ready. So instead, all the way back up top for Hunter Munoz. All the way back up top for Crumwhitey. Shakes to his left, gives it back to Adams. Didn't have the lane he wanted. Munoz trying to feed down low, and it was just out of the reach of Anderson. But that gives possession back to SLPCR. Momentarily.
That's the same. Then they turn it right back over.
Anderson. Back behind for Marshall. And now Adams. Poked at by Smolich. Still gets into the middle. That pass deflected. Still loose. Easton Cody gives it back to Adams. And across for Crumwhitey. And the Cougars do a nice job of staying out, just out of the reach, so that they're not turning it over. SLPCR, not the most aggressive defensive squad.
No.
Because they, don't want to get beat, so they don't get too aggressive. But Centennial doing a nice job of just staying just far enough to allow other pieces of the offense to move as well.
Well, they spread it out. Excuse me. They spread it out so well, and they're able to look for that opening.
Adams rushes back out front. Scramstead, a huge save, and he's able to scoop it back up. And another grade A scoring chance denied by the Catbird keeper.
Yes, it was a great place by Scramstead because that ball was just sitting there in front of the net. There was a Cougar right there, but he was able to get it into his cross quicker.
Loose ball scooped up by Robinson. That pass kind of handcuffed Marshall, ends up out of bounds, and a turnover back to SLPCR. Just about midway through this third quarter, only goal here in the second half was for Brol Sherman. His third of the contest has Centennial up by a 7-3 score. SLPCR really hasn't had possession in the attacking third yet in this third quarter. Henry left, jogs down the left side, hoping to change that.
The Catbirds, just again trying to see what they can do about working their offense, but Centennial defensively have done a good job of pressuring.
Robinson there pressuring on Burke, gives it back to left, and now on the left side is Nolan Hazelwood. Trying to get around the defender, gets the angle and scores up top. And they cut that lead right back to 3.
Yeah, he did a really nice job of just stepping around the goal and just snapping it in.
So that's the first of the game and a team-high 7 on the season for Nolan Hazelwood. Good pressure in the middle, forces that ball loose. Nolan Hazelwood able to scoop it up for SLPCR. And that's exactly what they need, is a couple of possessions in a row to try and get that momentum turned around. And just a little too aggressive on the defense by Jacob Robinson as he ran him over. Draws the whistle. OC not allowed to split a couple of defenders, and Centennial right back in possession. Wyatt Saubert, long pass ahead, scooping it up, putting it on net was Anderson, but rebound kicks right to Adams.
I don't think Anderson thought he had it in his cross at first, and then got a quick shot off, but Scramstead with the save.
Good solid defense there by OC, not giving up the middle. I don't understand the rules of this game. Because there is a fine line between
admit that.
the bounce shot for Adams was stopped up again by Scramstead. Well, it's like you can cross-check a guy, you
Yep.
can slash a guy, but only to a certain point. But I enjoy it. It's fast. It's
Agreed.
a lot of action, lot of strategy. That was a missed pass, so a turnover. We're down to the last 3.5 minutes of the third quarter.
That was a penalty. The
Oh,
flag was thrown.
He throws that flag like a pro.
Yeah, he does. Well, I saw him practicing before the game.
Got some serious
match,
distance
yeah, he was
and height.
Yep.
Impressive. He's practicing for football season, but you got to get a little closer to where the foul occurred if you hope to make it on the football field. It's got to go to the feet of the offending party. So a player advantage for Centennial. Penalty being served by Lamari Brown. And just like that, the penalty is over. Screaming back into the play and scooping it up is Eli Bowden. Absorbs a stick check and then a body check and a hard slash. Still able to get the ball downfield, unfortunately right back out of bounds and turning right back over to Centennial.
Yeah, he just threw up a prayer, and that was hoping that he could find one of his teammates. But he was definitely being pressured.
Bednar has all kinds of room to just walk up the middle of the field. Finally, that pass ahead was a little behind Cody, but he's able to scoop it up on a bounce and roll into the offensive end. Crumwhitey now down low for Anderson. Behind, Marshall will bring it back up top for Cody. Looking for Sherman. Sherman's way back near midfield, but. And then an illegal stick contact made, or an elbow, or
something.
Something that resulted in an SLPCR possession. And then something happened, and they had to back up and start over. Just over 90 seconds left in the third quarter. SLPCR trailing Centennial by a 7-3 score. Nolan Hazelwood had the last goal for the home team, trying to make it 2 in a row. His shot was hampered.
Yes.
As he went to get it off. Good hit by Lamari Brown. Got into a good position, and that helps Hazelwood get another goal for the home team. Cut it back to a 7-5 lead.
And a nice assist from Easton Cody. He's able to find Hazelwood right in front of the net and made it look easy. It's now just a 2-goal lead for the Cougars.
Definitely still anybody's game. A little more than a minute to go in the third quarter. Centennial won the draw, but then a stick foul against SLPCR will give Centennial a clear possession under a minute to go. Marshall. Then the shot up top and the goal for Cooper Larson.
Now, big goal because now that puts the lead back to 3 after the Catbirds were cutting into that. Makes it 8-5 in favor of Centennial.
Yeah, and the timing of the goal is really big
Yeah.
for Centennial as well. Reestablish that 3-goal lead late in this third quarter. Ball still loose off the draw, scooped up momentarily by Crumwhitey, but then he's knocked off the ball. CPC or SLPCR in possession. Calvin Schnabel's pass was broken up. Went to the ground and tried to sweep it to a teammate. It comes loose to Burke. Burke for SLPCR trying to get around the corner, and we have a timeout. SLPCR with 23 seconds left in the third quarter.
Yeah, maybe there was something Coach Pollard wanted to talk to his guys about.
Well, a valued possession here. You want it to be the last possession of the half or of the third quarter, rather, or at least end with only a couple of seconds so Centennial can't go all the way to the other end. But at the same time, you must generate a scoring chance.
Well, you have to.
And you have an opportunity, again, to get it back within 2 before that fourth quarter.
Well, yeah, just the three-goal cushion for Centennial isn't insurmountable by any means.
Centennial has led since early in the second quarter, and they've been able to get that lead. I mean, not huge ever.
No.
The largest lead was at 6-2, but they've seemed relatively comfortable with that lead, but that comfort level is diminished a bit after the 2 goals by Hazelwood here in the third quarter.
The Catbirds just, again, looking for maybe a little something here quick before the end of the third. It would be big if they could.
Instead, it bounces out of the cross of Ossie, and Centennial races back the other way, and then Ossie's going to be flagged for a little frustration, perhaps, as he took down Cooper Larson from behind. Just 7 seconds left in this third quarter. Sherman way up top, not showing a lot of urgency, and he'll just wait for the buzzer to sound. And his team will go to the breakup 8-5. We'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this. Back at the Cardinal Sports Complex, the Catbirds trailing the Cougars 8-5 as we start the fourth and final quarter, and that was a bullet from, is that Logan Adams?
Yes. Yeah, he had a lot on that shot. So the Cougars come out here quickly in the fourth quarter and score to increase their lead. Fans bundled up here tonight, Joe. It's a little chilly out.
Yeah,
Needs to
spring
be
has
warmer.
taken a long time to spring. Spring
it should have sprung. Should have sprung by now.
It sprang for like a week.
Yeah.
And then it went back into
Well,
hiding.
it went to summer for like a week. And then
It really did. We skipped summer and went right to
back to fall.
Right to the fall. It was hot and humid for like 3 days. And then it was winter again. And now it's just flirting with being nice weather, but not quite getting there.
Oh, great defensive play.
Yeah, it was a beautiful anticipation for Lamari Brown. And he's using his speed all the way to midfield, getting it ahead for Nolan Hazelwood. Hazelwood just trying to keep it in bounds, and Brown took a lot of contact right at midfield, and that
drew the flag.
Results in the foul against Sam Lewis. Or maybe it was Brol Sherman. Sherman's serving either way on a knee in the penalty area. Again, SLPCR looking for their first win, 0-3 on the season so far. Centennial comes in at 2-2, trying to bounce back from a 1-goal loss at the hands of Mata Midai last Friday.
Well, they got to start right here on this possession to close the gap.
Take advantage of having one less defender in the box. Hazelwood up top. OC fires. Bednar got a piece of it. Left along that end line to make sure they maintain possession. OC up top. It got away, or left went up top. It got away from OC. And the Cougars right back to the attacking end. Adams goes down low. Behind now for Marshall. And now Sherman. Spins back to the middle, finds a little room, fires. Skramstad makes another save. Sherman prevents the easy clear, and then the pass a little bit too tall for Schnabel. Scooped right back up by Anderson, and now here's Crumwhitey, leaving it left side. Adams spins away from contact, tracked by Brown, and he'll retreat behind the net.
Again, does a good job of just, realizing he didn't have that opening, so let's set the offense back up.
Comes around, tries to shoot low. Skramstad not fooled, makes another big save point blank, and gets it ahead for Sudbeck. Sudbeck coughs it up, swept along by Schnabel, and then a foul called against Centennial. Hazelwood on that right side. 4-goal deficit, but certainly no reason to be hurrying on offense. SLPCR needs to go get back to what they were able to get working in that second quarter, or in the first quarter rather, when they had so many good possessions. Is being patient for that open position to develop. That was a heck of a catch.
Yes, it was.
Right there by Sherman.
He just put that cross up high and brought it in. Again, Centennial's in no hurry. They've got the lead, and they'll continue to move the ball around and take time off the clock and look for that perfect shot.
Well, and again, there's no reason at this point for Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids to really hurry their offense, but certainly no reason for Centennial with a 4-goal lead. Not to say they would do it, but they'd be okay with just passing it around for the next 8 minutes and getting themselves to a 3-2 record. But I'm sure they will take their opportunities and take their shots at the net. But I don't think you'll see them force anything either. I could be completely wrong and completely off base, as I am most times.
As
really.
You're known to do.
Brol Sherman backs way out, now takes a run at Brown. His pass was deflected but got through, and a sneaky little shot by Adams missed wide and ends up out the end line, but Centennial with a couple of players back there ahead of the Catbirds.
Oh, he was trying to bounce that one in.
Adams trying to find a corner, now works back. Not very often do you see the guy that took the shot be the one closest to it as it goes out the end, but that was the case
momentum.
there.
He had the momentum going forward.
And tried to take that shot while his body was essentially behind the net, or past the post anyway. That shot well off the mark and way out of bounds for Craig, but again, Centennial is there. And as long as you play in the system and you always have a guy wide behind the shot, there's a shot and a goal for Brol Sherman. He's got the last two.
Yeah, that pushes it back to a 4-goal lead. A little more insurance for the Cougs. I'm sorry, did it 5? Correct, my bad.
Largest lead of the night.
Yep.
As they're really putting the clamps down now here in the fourth quarter. SLPCR awarded the ball after the tie-up on the draw. Burke trying to get around a corner, now getting back to the middle of the field. Spinning, takes contact, ball comes loose. Cougars able to scoop on the run, but then the little flip pass from Robinson didn't quite get through. Burke harassed just beyond the midfield line. Gets it ahead for Easton. Easton will back up behind the net. A little more than midway through this fourth quarter. Centennial a couple of goals here in the fourth to extend their lead to 10-5. They have now gotten to double digits in all 5 contests they've played this season. Good save there by Bednar.
Yeah, their offense has been working well, and like I said, they do a good job of spreading it out.
Little miscommunication, quickly turned around, but then the pass from Hazelwood, a little too far for Colin Easton. Battle continues all the way near the back line between Easton and Robinson. Kicked at. Robinson finally taken to the ground as Easton gets some help. And he flips it to Nolan Hazelwood. Hazelwood trying to avoid the stick check pressure. Got it to Ossie. And Ossie had it poked free. Good job by Gorlitz. And then Gorlitz took a cross check to the back and just stumbled over to the bench, said, all right, somebody else go out.
Yeah.
I did my job.
There's a penalty called on the Catbirds.
Jack Sudbeck taking a knee. Sherman down the right side for Centennial. He's got the last couple. I think he's got 4 in the game. 5. He's got 5 of their 5 of their 10. Came in with 13 goals in the first 4 games.
Oh.
Long shot is good through traffic for Kellen Crumwhitey.
Yeah, he put a lot on that one as well, and Scramstead not able to do anything with it.
And what a force Tyler Case has been in the circle for Centennial. Giving the Cougars possession on a high percentage of the draws.
This time Centennial calling a timeout. With a healthy lead.
And again, probably stressing patience, but also don't pass up good shots and stick with the plan. I mean, obviously it's been working to this point.
And you're a little less than 4 minutes remaining.
Well, the Catbirds' spirit clearly not broken as they're pretty fired up in their huddle. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and they trail by 6. As the whistle sounds, the action continues. Solomon will work it back from behind the net. Pass up top. Crumwhitey took a couple of bumps. Gives it back up out front, a turn and a goal. And a nice play. That was Tyson Botch was attacking down the right side, and then as the ball came back up top, he snuck out front. And essentially a quick one-timer to increase the lead to 12-5.
Yeah, just a really good feed to find him in front of the net, and then he just snapped a shot past the goaltender, and the Cougars now are up by 7, 12-5.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Tyson Botch, number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
He has the 12th goal of the night for Centennial. They have a 7-goal lead, and they are back in possession. Again, everybody wants to have a couple of high-end goal scorers on their team. They'd love to have an elite netminder, a couple of really strong defenders. But everyone in lacrosse understands the importance of a dominant face-off guy.
Yeah, that is you win that face-off. It's really advantageous.
This game is more about possession than probably any other sport, save maybe football. But unlike really any other sport, as long as you continue to either score or be as close as possible to the ball when it goes out of bounds after a missed shot, you could maintain possession essentially for the entire game. Have another timeout.
This time the Catbirds call the time. A little over 2 minutes remaining, 2:35 to be exact.
And again, Centennial has done a nice job of controlling the ball and controlling the action and really turning it on when necessary. They have scored the last 5 in the game. They had 6 unanswered earlier in the contest. Scramsted's had an outstanding game in goal for SLPCR.
He certainly has.
Especially early on, keeping his team right in this game. And while there's still time, theoretically, it would take a monumental collapse on the part of Centennial to assist SLPCR to try to come back from this. Left just running through bodies, maintaining possession. Flags fly on the far side of the field. The shot bounces out the end line, and SLPCR is there. We had flags flying on both sides of the field. The guilty party, Sam Lewis, jogging back to the penalty area where he will take a knee for a minute. That was 23 seconds. It's amazing how much action they can fit into 23 seconds. Hazelwood down low for left, back to Hazelwood on the left side. And now up top to OC and Hazelwood and left. Try the other side. Not a lot of room there either. OC thought about this shot. Hazelwood will take it. Missed wide. SLPCR all over it. Long shot from Mosi, misses wide. Left there to make sure they maintain possession. OC to Hazelwood, he couldn't handle it. Ends up out of bounds, back to Centennial.
Minute and a half on the clock.
Steal for Hazelwood. He comes in and scores his third of the game. Make it a little more respectable.
Yeah, just a nice play by Hazelwood as he's able to get up in front of the net and put it past Bednar.
Well, but coming over, and I'm not sure if I didn't see who it was. He came over and just got the steal quickly off the whistle, and just ran right to the net.
Yep.
Hazelwood works it down the left side, passes out front. Chance for Lewick, turned away and close. Just over a minute remaining. Centennial with a quick steal, and they charge right back into the attacking end as we're under a minute to go. Brown comes up with a steal for SLPCR. Back behind, Scramstead. He's just going to run this one ahead of himself. Long pass. Spinning with it on the other side of midfield is Rathke. His pass didn't click with Herzog, and bodies on the turf, whistles blowing, arms pointing.
With under 30 seconds left, we'll see if the Centennial is just going to run the timeout, which I would assume that they would.
I don't know. They like to score.
Well, I get that.
Long shot skipped wide. Way out the end line, but under 10 seconds to go. Centennial going to improve to 3-2. Big saving, close. Scramstead, and a second chance went off the side of the net.
That's
the
it.
Buzzer will sound. SLPCR will fall to 0-4 on the season.
Yeah, they started out really well in that first quarter, but Centennial did such a nice job of controlling the action after that point, and they just continued to build their lead, and the Catbirds really just couldn't do anything to get back into it. And you're right, they will be at 0-4. The Cougars go to 3-2.
But that will do it for this edition of CTN Sports. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. To the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.